Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. COVID-19 testing is supposed to be accessible to anyone who wants to get tested, but the system isn't meeting expectations and some Hoosiers are getting frustrated.
First two appointments were canceled. The third one, which would have been last week, I didn't get any notice at all.
Ahead, what health departments are doing to improve the operations at testing sites. Monroe County is among the districts that's delaying the start of school and relying more on virtual education.
Is there a better way to keep kids in a calm environment, our staff calm, and make it all work?
Coming up, the latest on the district's revised plans and the details that still need to be worked out. And buyer beware. Amid the coronavirus pandemic, you want to make sure you read the fine print when you make travel plans.
If the event can't be held, what am I obligated to here?
Ahead, a woman's fight to recoup $1,600 in hotel costs after IU canceled spring commencement. Those stories plus the latest news headlines right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, over the last month, Indiana's rolling 7-day average of new confirmed cases has more than doubled to about 800 a day, while the state's COVID-19 hospitalizations have grown by about 50% during that time. Governor Eric Holcomb says he's concerned about the rising numbers, so Indiana will keep its current coronavirus restrictions in place through at least most of August. Stage 4.5 restricts restaurants to 75% capacity and limits bars, nightclubs, and other entertainment venues to 50%. Gatherings of any kind are restricted to 250 people. Holcomb says he doesn't see the need to reimpose past restrictions like closing bars and nightclubs, but he says it's important for local leaders and even individual businesses to enforce compliance.
For every 10 that are doing the right thing, if one doesn't enforce these guidelines at the local level, at the individual business or social gathering, it can ruin it for a much greater area.
Federal officials warn Indiana and other Midwestern states could see a significant jump in COVID-19 infections. Nearly 750,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the coronavirus. That's a lot less than what the managers of the state-sponsored coronavirus testing program said they would be able to do by this time. And the OptumServe testing site has been operating in Bloomington since April, and it's supposed to be open for anyone who wants to get tested. Health officials say the Bloomington site is meeting local demands for testing, but as George Hale reports, not everyone has been able to access its services.
Jason Nicky has been trying for a month to get tested for COVID-19.
First two appointments were canceled. I got notice that day that they were canceled that morning, and so I obviously didn't go to them. The third one, which would have been last week, I didn't get any notice at all.
Nicky's appointments were scheduled here at the National Guard Armory south of Bloomington.
When I was there, I waited for a long time, didn't see anyone official. There were 3 other people there who came to get a test while I was there for a few minutes. They were all as confused as I was.
OptumServe and its subsidiary Logistics Health Incorporated run this site. The state awarded OptumServe a nearly $18 million contract this spring. OptumServe aimed to open 50 testing sites around the state and provide 100,000 free tests per month. It's fallen short of those goals. It only has about 35 sites, and it took OptumServe 4 months to run the number of tests that it set out to run in a single month.
It was completely abandoned, desolate. Like all the material was out there. It was sort of like, looked like a movie set of props that everyone just sort of walked away from.
The site appeared all but abandoned earlier this week, too. A parked car was the only sign of human activity, aside from bright orange signs and banners advertising COVID-19 testing, with arrows pointing to the otherwise vacant lot. Health officials are blaming heat for the last-minute cancellations. They say staff members covered in protective gear can't spend too much time in the sun.
They have been closing early due to the heat. Now we have been we've worked with the state and arranged for portable air conditioning to be forthcoming. So that should be there by the end of the week, and hopefully that will correct the heat issue.
Despite the delays and cancellations, Cottle says the Bloomington site is actually performing better than other OptumServe sites in Indiana.
They have been doing well over the number of anticipated tests per day. So even with closing at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 8, they have still done well over the anticipated number of tests per day.
Optum acknowledged that the Bloomington site has had to close a few times due to excessive heat. In an emailed statement, a spokesperson said that staff do try to reach out to reschedule appointments and have posted signs when closing early. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm George Hale.
This is the first week Hoosiers aren't getting an extra $600 in weekly unemployment benefits that had been available to laid-off workers. This comes amid intensifying concerns that a surge in coronavirus cases is stalling or even reversing any progress towards economic recovery. Now, in Indiana, some unemployed Hoosiers say now without the extra unemployment benefits, they're faced with tough decisions like whether to pay their rent or their utilities. Our workforce development reporter Justin Hicks has been following this since March, and he joins us now from South Bend. Hello, Justin. So let's start with how many Hoosiers have been getting that extra $600, and then how much will they get when those extra benefits go away?
Yeah, so I just saw a report from the Century Foundation. They have some guys who were crunching unemployment numbers, and they estimate a little over 400,000 Hoosiers on various unemployment programs, from regular state unemployment to new pandemic unemployment programs, are going to be losing that $600 benefit. When that benefit ends, people will be eligible to receive the normal amount of unemployment that Indiana state law allots for, which is 47% of your weekly income up to $390. So that's what people are going to be working with for the foreseeable future.
Can you help explain what unemployment looks like here compared to what it was before the pandemic?
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy because just before the pandemic, we were actually at a kind of a historic low. I mean, at a 2-decade low of unemployment. We had 3% unemployment, and then suddenly in April, it went from 3% to 17.5% unemployment. So big difference there. And about that time, we only had 2,000 to 3,000 people a month. A week applying for unemployment. So a big difference now.
Data the Labor Department released yesterday shows for the 19th straight week, more than 1 million people applied for jobless benefits. What do those numbers look like in Indiana?
So in Indiana, the new claims went up about 3,000 for initial claims, but for continued claims, we went up by about 30,000. But DWD tells me to take those numbers with a really big grain of salt. We don't necessarily know if all of those claims are legitimate. They've been getting hit with a lot of fraudulent claims filed lately, and it's really hard for them to weed those out of the Department of Labor numbers. So, 30,000 for new claims, for continued claims, 3,000 for new claims, but take that with a grain of salt.
Just under 30 seconds left. There was some improvement in unemployment claims. Is that tapering off amid concerns about a surge in cases in the state?
It's hard to say. It seems DWD tells me it's probably tapering off. But again, you have to remember that even as coronavirus cases may go up, we don't know how that will affect unemployment, because unemployment is really affected by government and business policy, not necessarily by the actual coronavirus cases. So it's like a if A, then B, then C thing. It's hard to connect one to the other.
All right, Justin, we have to leave it there. Thanks for being on and for your reporting throughout the week.
Absolutely.
Unions representing workers at 10 chicken processing plants in 6 states, including Indiana, are suing the U.S. Department of Agriculture to challenge a policy that allows companies to increase production speeds that the unions say puts workers at risk. The lawsuit alleges that the waivers endanger worker health and put them at risk during the coronavirus pandemic by making adequate distancing nearly impossible. The Tyson Foods meatpacking plant in Logansport shut down for 2 weeks beginning in late April because so many employees there tested positive for COVID-19. Health officials traced more than 1,000 positive cases back to the plant. After the 2-week closure, the plant reopened with what it calls enhanced safety precautions. Hoosier renters and homeowners will be shielded from evictions and foreclosures for another couple of weeks. The governor announced this week he's extending the eviction and foreclosure moratorium through August 14th. He emphasized, though, that those who have struggled with payments need to work with their landlords and mortgage holders to make payment plans. Indiana's rental assistance program opened in July and already received more than 20,000 applications. The head of Indiana's Housing and Community Development Authority says the state isn't the only option for Hoosiers who need help.
Community foundations, some of our not-for-profits and our trustees that also provide assistance with rental and home ownership and utility assistance.
Meanwhile, the governor says the state will find resources for its rental assistance program if the initial funding is exhausted. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. It's been about 3 months since spring commencement was scheduled to happen at IU. Coming up, we'll talk to a woman who canceled her graduation weekend hotel stay but is still fighting for her $1,600 refund. And ahead, a look at bee colonies in central Indiana, how beekeepers are working to keep bees alive to help flowers and farms thrive. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
The WTIU WFIU news team connects Indiana to the world. We bring you the top news of the day on radio, TV, and online. We round up the stories that have people talking each week and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. The WTIU WFIU news team is where you are and telling your story.
In a time of change, where can you find in-depth reporting and thoughtful analysis? Washington Week on PBS. Join moderator Robert Costa.
When I was at the Capitol this week, I encountered the same.
And a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation and you're seeing...
For insights and perspective.
Tonight there was a key development in the Senate.
You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. When the coronavirus forced the cancellation of IU spring graduation, it also canceled plans for families who planned on visiting Bloomington that weekend. Adam Pinsker tells us about some refund issues that have come up as a result of the cancellations.
Every weekend in early May, hotels in and around Bloomington are booked to capacity. They often fill up months in advance. But after the coronavirus pandemic forced the cancellation of Indiana University's May 2020 commencement ceremonies, a flurry of hotel cancellations followed. President of the Central Indiana Better Business Bureau, Tim Maniscalco, says most hotel chains refunded customers with no issue.
The travel industry, the leisure industry is trying to work as best they can. And I think a lot of that is, they want to maintain their good name, and they know that eventually these people are going to be traveling again, and they want them to go back to their hotel.
But there were a few exceptions. Aurora O'Reilly told us in an email she was out more than $1,600 for 2 rooms she reserved at the Comfort Inn on Kinser Pike for graduation last May. She called the hotel when the university canceled graduation, but says the hotel refused to reimburse her. She says the hotel told her graduation is a special event and refunds are not possible, even though she couldn't travel from New York where she lives because at the time the city was on lockdown. She says she paid for the deposit with a check. Maniscalco calls that highly unusual.
We always recommend that with any transaction, whether it be a hotel or really any transaction, your safest, most secure form of payment should be a credit card.
O'Reilly says she stayed at that same hotel before and booked it again because she's familiar with it. The Comfort Inn offered her credit to use for a future stay, but only at the Kinser Pike location. Since her daughter already graduated, O'Reilly told us she didn't have a reason to come back to Bloomington, so the credit was really no good. We discovered the Comfort Inn is managed by TriStar Properties out of Arizona, which also owns Holiday Inn on Kinzer Pike and the Holiday Inn Express on Franklin Road. Officials from the company did not return our calls or emails, but President of the Monroe County Convention and Visitors Commission, Mike Campbell, says he's fielded complaints from people not being able to get refunds from all 3 hotels owned by TriStar. Comfort Inn sent us a statement earlier this month saying, "While the hotels in our system are independently owned and operated, guest satisfaction is very important to us. Choice Hotels is currently working to address the situation for all affected guests. Some have already received refunds. We are aware of the guests still awaiting an update and will contact them with a resolution soon." Earlier this week, a spokesperson for Comfort Inn said there were additional issues contributing to the delay. We checked with Marriott and Hilton Hotels, and both companies say they are issuing refunds for guests who had to cancel because of COVID. On its website, Hilton says bookings made prior to March 12th of this year are eligible for refunds. We checked on the website hotels.com and found that rooms for graduation weekend next year are already almost sold out. Maniscalco says now may be a good time for those planning to visit Bloomington for graduation in 2021 to read the terms and conditions of their room rates.
Just say, hey, if some unforeseen act of God should come up and the event can't be held, in this case the IU graduation couldn't be held, what am I obligated to here?
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Adam Pinsker.
Monroe County students won't go back to school next week as originally planned. The school board voted this week to delay the start until August 12th, and then all students will start online. Ethan Burks attended Tuesday night's board meeting and joins us now from the newsroom with more.
As you remember last week, the board pushed aside the idea of delaying the start of school, and board members seemed pretty confident in the reopening plans that they had drafted earlier in the summer. But they changed course this week because they say the increasing number of coronavirus infections is a real cause for concern. At its meeting last week, the board decided to table any decision about delaying the start of school. Some parents and teachers were critical of the move and felt like the board wasn't hearing their concerns. This week, more than 100 parents and teachers showed up to protest outside the MCCSC CoLab before Tuesday night's board meeting.
Essentially, an overwhelming majority of teachers do not feel safe currently in going back face-to-face at this moment. So I think we are looking for at least a 2-week delay to kind of reassess.
2/3 of all the teachers say yes, we should be starting virtually. That doesn't mean that we said we want to stay that way all year round. Doesn't mean that. It means they want to start virtually until we know that it's safe to return.
The board's decision means all students will learn online until at least September 11th. The district will then form a committee that will evaluate COVID-19's impact on the community.
Over at Indiana University that could help us, scientists, we've got wonderful health professionals, we've got the Monroe County Health Department, and I asked them to join hands with us to try to come up with some metrics that we could use as a community to help us make that decision.
DeMuth says the committee will use those established metrics to determine if students can return to in-person instruction. Some parents who attended the board meeting don't think students should go back to classroom teaching at all.
If one kid dies this year, it could have been prevented. How many is too much? Why should we rush to try and get this back?
In the original reentry plan, parents were asked to choose between sending their kids to school or enrolling in the online academy. With the new guidelines moving every student online to begin the year, that independent online academy is now under a new format. So now, Ethan, could you talk a little bit about the reasoning behind that latest changes in the plan?
So like you said, in the district's first reentry plan that was approved in the summer, it was pretty clear. Some students would attend school traditionally in person, and then everyone else would be on the online academy. Now, with all the students starting the year online, this changes things a little bit. So first, let's start with the teachers. The original plan was for some teachers to teach in the school that they had always been teaching in, but then some of them would be leaving those schools to only teach for the online academy. So with everyone moving to online, those teachers now move back into their home to teach the students virtually. So that means the students that were enrolled in the online academy will also be going back to receiving instruction from their neighborhood school teachers instead of being part of that separate academy.
So I think a lot of parents are probably wondering what will happen if the district decides to send kids back to school, and then what would that mean for students who still want to continue online?
Of course, and that was a major talking point actually during the meeting Tuesday night, and something I've seen a lot of parents asking about on Facebook. So the district did send out a mass email saying if they do go back to in-person learning, an online option will be available for those families because they might not feel comfortable or safe enough sending their children back. Now, the district hasn't said what that online instruction would look like yet specifically, but that option will be provided. And that's where that September 11th deadline kind of comes back into play, because a team of educators and curriculum experts will then put together that structure for the online teaching. But again, that's all predicated on the district resuming in-school training, or in-school teaching rather, and as most things today, it could not happen. It just depends on the virus.
You know, I know other public school districts are having to change their plans on the fly too because of the rise in cases. How does MCCSC's strategy compare to some others?
Well, I think the best district to look at for that would be Indianapolis Public Schools. With that region having the most positive COVID-19 cases, they have to be kind of extra cautious in their planning. Right now, their plan is to also delay and begin online starting August 17th. And that district will also have a similar approach evaluating the number of cases before sending kids back to in person. But they have also pushed their decision time back to October as opposed to Monroe County in September.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much, and we'll continue looking for more as the school year goes on.
Thanks, Joe.
A second man is scheduled to be executed next month in Terre Haute. Lesmond Mitchell was convicted of the 2001 murder of a Navajo woman and her 9-year-old granddaughter. The Navajo man was among the first of a handful of inmates set to be executed after the Trump administration ended an informal 17-year moratorium. A federal appeal court temporarily spared Mitchell to allow for attorneys to determine whether there was an anti-Native American bias in his case. In April, 2 of the 3 judges on the appeals court voted to uphold Mitchell's death sentence. Mitchell is scheduled to be executed August 26th. Keith Nelson is scheduled for execution 2 days later on August 28th. Monroe County Prosecutor Erica Oliphant announced she will recuse herself from the case against 2 white men charged with assaulting a black man earlier this month. Sean Purdy and Jerry Cox are charged with criminal confinement, battery resulting in moderate bodily injury, and intimidation. Cox is also facing battery charges stemming from the July 4th incident. Purdy and his girlfriend, Caroline McCord, both filed motions this week requesting a special prosecutor. Purdy's request says Oliphant is not fit to prosecute the case because she is more concerned with keeping her job than enforcing the laws of the state. Oliphant says she's not conceding an actual conflict of interest, but is requesting a special prosecutor to avoid any appearance of impropriety. Well, Spencer Pride is canceling its annual festival, and organizers plan to instead focus on more Pride Week activities. Organizers decided earlier this year to move the event to the fall in hopes the pandemic situation would have improved. The new decision to cancel was made in consultation with the Owen County Health Department.
We just don't have enough information or confidence that tells us that we're going to be in a better position from a pandemic perspective. And so we don't want to worsen the circumstances by, facilitating a large gathering of people.
This is the first time in 14 years the event's been canceled. Spencer Pride will be expanding its October Pride Week with activities that would have led up to the festival, including a virtual marketplace for vendors who rely on the festival and events focused on LGBTQ education. Well, honey, beekeepers in the U.S. lost about 22% of their colonies this past winter. While that might have sounded like some bad news, the Bee Informed Partnership says that's actually the second lowest winter colony loss it's seen in more than a decade. As Rebecca Thiel reports, Indiana farmers need those bees to pollinate their crops.
Beekeeper Ross Harding takes care of about 220 colonies in central Indiana, including hives on the roof of WFYI, the public media station in Indianapolis.
But I would take a couple steps back for when I first opened.
The winter before last, during the 2018-2019 season, Indiana tied with South Carolina for the lowest percentage of colony losses in the country. Harding attributes Indiana's success to beekeeper education.
We have a really good community of local bee clubs and organizations that really teach a lot of what's going on now in beekeeping to have a successful year.
That includes teaching new beekeepers how to control varroa mites, the honeybee's #1 pest. But it's not time to celebrate yet. Nathalie Steinhauer is the research coordinator for the Bee Informed Partnership. She says even though there were fewer colony losses in the U.S. this past winter, it followed the highest summer loss her group has ever recorded. Steinhauer says to help bees, landowners can plant native flowers and use pesticides in a responsible way.
If we improve the environment, we're improving the environment not just for the honeybees, not just for native bees, but for all the diversity of bees, of pollinators, and in the end, we're just also improving the environment for ourselves.
Overall, annual bee colony losses in Indiana have been trending up slightly in the past decade. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Rebecca Thiel.
And former Indiana Governor Joe Kernan is being remembered for his government and military service following his death Wednesday. Former Indiana First Lady Judy O'Bannon says Kernan was the best friend to her family and the state of Indiana. Kernan became governor in 2003 after Governor Frank O'Bannon died from a stroke. No public services are planned for Kernan at this time due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. lawmg.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.